It's time for local stories from across the East. Local food. Local fashion. Local businesses. This is your home for local. This is the East's Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.
The scene is dimly lit, the studio spotlights flooding the scene with excitement and glee. What's to come today? Hard to say. This is a special poetry edition. I wrote a little something. Welcome to the East Daily Download today. I'm Mark, your tour guide, and I'm excited to say our journey is starting, so let's get on our way. Archery is on today's show, and behind the scenes of Downton Abbey we'll go. Reflect on Hurricane Dorian and the winds that did blow. But before we do any of that, we'll meet a loving child looking for a loving home. Let's get started. The East Daily Download, Eastern North Carolina CW special poetry edition. Let's go.
First step, visit Children's Home Society of North Carolina's website.
Scroll down to the event section so they can find the information the meeting to attend.
Attend that meeting and collect as much information as you can.
After you get the information and you're feeling good about moving forward with the process, then you can actually apply online, pay for the background check online.
To complete a background check, it's going to cost you $20. After the background check is completed and you're approved, it's game time.
Then you'll have a meeting with the licensing specialist. After you meet with the licensing specialist, then you'll receive an invitation to math classes.
This is where your training begins.
So the math classes aren't to train you to teach you how to be a parent, but it's teaching you how to parent children with trauma. Also, you have support groups that you end up, connecting with doing your math classes.
That will be a 6 to 8 month process to complete all of your hours required. If you're looking to do basic foster care, that's 30 hours credited of training. To do therapeutic foster care, that's 40 hours.
It's broken down in sessions.
Classes are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or you can attend a Saturday training class that covers 2 sessions in one day, which will give you 2 credited hours. Once you've completed all of your hours of training, you'll officially receive your license.
That's when you'll be able to actually move forward with it, doing foster care and adoption after you get your license.
And if you're looking to adopt right away, the process can vary in time.
The adoption process can take place probably about a good 2 to 3 months sometimes. And it's really case by case.
So all in all, if you're looking to foster a child or adopt one, getting your license is the first step to a beautiful, rewarding journey of becoming a loving home.
Thank you for trusting WNCT-9 First Alert Weather for all of your coverage throughout Hurricane Dorian.
The rain and the wind have just stayed consistent.
The current is getting even stronger.
The wind is really starting to pick up.
Hits you like a huge gust. There's chairs in power lines.
Not a soul is here.
This is a dangerous and large hurricane
because it is a far-reaching storm with far-reaching impacts.
Don't know if you guys can see, but the power actually did just go out.
WNCT-9 on your side brought you complete team coverage as Dorian moved along the east.
From North Topsail Beach.
In Kinston, North Carolina.
In Emerald Isle.
From New Bern.
From Belhaven.
In Washington, North Carolina.
From New Bern to Emerald Isle.
In North Topsail Beach. Yeah, it is very extreme out here.
Since it's finally getting some daylight out here, we wanted to come out and get our first glimpse of the water.
We'll be with you through the duration of this storm.
Stay with us for more on recovery efforts on air and online at WNCT.com.
But at night we come alive.
The East Daily Download is all about you. It's about local stories featuring local businesses. If you or your business would like to be featured, contact the sales team at WNCT. And be sure to watch new episodes weekday mornings at 7 on Eastern North Carolina CW.
We're back on the East Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW special Poetry Slam edition. Welcome. Hope you're all well today. I have a very special guest I'd like to introduce to the stage right now. He's a beat poet, a slam poet, an extraordinary poet. He goes by the name of ENG. Please welcome to the stage.
Downton Abbey, here we go. Dorian, the winds did blow. Thank you.
What's up, East Daily Download? I'm Madeline Ashley, and I'm here covering Hurricane Dorian. It has been quite an interesting day. We came out here, and the sun was shining off and on. The winds were pretty low. The water was barely moving. It was a little high, but we didn't really see anything too crazy. So, we kind of went about our day, got some footage, talked to a couple of locals. People were, as Angie mentioned, were out walking dogs, riding bikes, just kind of running around and enjoying their Thursday afternoon. So it was kind of interesting for me as somebody from the Midwest to see that because, I'm from where there's Tornado Alley. I have never really experienced a hurricane. The hurricane has begun to pick up. As you can tell behind me, there was a lot of water, a lot of wind. The boats back there, everybody, Angie and John have been saying, wow, look at those boats. Is someone out there driving around in them? But no, it's really just the wind power right now, and it's just the beginning, but it's picking up. So for me, I thought that was pretty interesting. You can see right now as I'm looking over that way, there's cars driving through just piles and piles of water, and over right behind me over here it's pretty flooded, and earlier today none of that even existed. Talking to community members is something that is really cool for me to kind of hear how they made it through Florence last year. It was a hard hurricane and people were affected greatly, and now to be able to go through this with them, to go through Dorian again, it's barely a year later, and these people, they don't have a negative attitude. They have we're going to put up a fight, and we're going to handle Dorian the way that we handled Florence, and we're not going to let it take us down. Getting to learn as a journalist, as a reporter, and I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change a thing. Very worried about people's safety, but we're out here to help, we're out here to cover, and as a journalist, I'm very thankful for opportunities like this. So I'm in Washington, North Carolina right now, Madeline Ashley. Thanks a lot, East Daily Download.
Whether it's a Category 5 or a thunderstorm, trust the WNCT-9 First Alert Weather Team to be here for you with your accurate forecast to help keep you safe and ahead of the storm. WNCT-9 First Alert Weather, on air, online, and on the go.
From poverty in Mexico to life as a teacher, Alexandra Delgadillo is sharing her story of survival and achievement as she also inspires students right here in Pitt County.
It was really, really poor. It's really small. And we basically, they still do have the bathrooms outside, and they don't have any water.
Those humble beginnings in Coahuila, Mexico would be the motivation for Alexandra Delgadillo to push through her fear of a new country and enter her career as a teacher.
Well, I'm originally from Mexico, and I came to the United States when I was 10 years old.
With her parents and 4 siblings living in a small home with no water in the 1990s.
We lived in a ranch called Tacubaya.
Then one day, Delgadillo's mother told her the family was moving to the United States.
Basically to give us a better education opportunity. And because, like I mentioned, we were very poor, so she decided she wanted a better life for us.
The family moving to Stokes, North Carolina, where her dad found a job.
It was very scary because you come to a country and you don't know the language. so you don't know what people are speaking, you don't know what they're saying, and it was very scary and terrifying as a kid.
Delgadillo credits her teachers for helping her overcome her fears.
So she was there for me. She would translate my worksheets into Spanish, so she helped me as much as she could. So she was one of the teachers that impacted me.
And as she grew up, she remained dedicated to her education.
Actually, I try a lot, you know. I set myself to a goal and I accomplish the goal.
After graduating high school, Delgadillo went on to earn her associate's degree at Martin Community College, then her bachelor's degree in elementary education at Elizabeth City University, with the impact of her teachers motivating her to become a teacher as well. Delgadillo has taught kindergarten at South Greenville Elementary School for the past year, and she says it's been challenging but also rewarding.
I want to make sure I help my students be successful. I want them to learn to love school so they can succeed in life. So I want to be part of building our future.
Delgadillo plans to go back to school to get her master's and doctorate and then become a university professor. In the studio, Amber Joseph, 9 on your side.
Welcome back to the East Daily Download. I'd be remiss if I didn't say the ways that you can find this show online today. Go to WNCT.com under the East Daily Download tab, or maybe socials your way. Use the hashtag East Daily Download, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. They're all okay. Anyone you want to do is fine with us. Okay, please join me right now in this special Poetry Slam edition and welcoming to the stage, Be Saucy! Be Saucy!
Archery. Arrows come my way. Downton Abbey. Here to stay.
No maid, no valet, no nanny even.
It's 1927. We're modern folk.
The Crawleys and their servants hit the big screen in Downton Abbey 4 years after the television series concluded.
Yeah, but we're still finding new audiences. I had a letter just last week from someone who said they'd only recently discovered the show and how much they're enjoying it.
I think there's a fascination with everyone around the world with the British royal family. So I think a lot of people are tuning in for that sort of, you know, we're an extension of that, I guess.
The King and Queen are coming to Downton.
What? I want every surface to gleam and sparkle.
The service has to be invisible. If it's visible, then it's wrong.
The principal valet and the principal dresser will arrive in advance of their majesties.
The cast had high praise for the principals behind the scenes of the film, writer Julian Fellows and director Michael Engler.
Our director did such a great job of delineating each story and each character, so you really understand in a very economical way who people are and what their agenda is.
You know, we got excited by this script. It was funny and it was romantic and hopeful, and that was the reason we all came back, because the 6 series were precious and they went out on a high.
Downton Abbey's the heart of this community and you're keeping it beating.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Thank you for trusting WNCT-9 First Alert Weather for all of your coverage throughout Hurricane Dorian.
Higher winds are starting to be felt.
There's chairs in power lines.
Florence was enough.
This current is really coming closer.
The winds are strong enough.
Like a huge gust.
Still very rough.
Not a soul is here.
Yeah, it is very extreme out here. Steadily pouring down rain.
Stay with us for more on recovery efforts on air and online at WNCT.com.
Let's face it, the suits are pretty cool.
Whoa.
Thank you. Next. Let me help.
That was amazing!
We make a good team. World's finest.
Batwoman, followed by Supergirl. Sundays are super, beginning October 6th on the CW.
Welcome back, and welcome back to Shelby with the Humane Society of Eastern Carolina.
We have a very special visitor today. Everly is probably the most excited dog I've seen in a long time.
Yes, so her birthday was last week. She just turned a year old. And with that, she's been partying all week. She thinks every day is a party and she just enjoys life. She's working on confidence building, so someone who doesn't have other animals in the home would be great because she really needs the focus and attention on getting that confidence with new things.
Yes, she does. She's so sweet, though. Well, if you are interested in adopting Everly or any of the other animals at the Humane Society of Eastern Carolina, visit them online at hsecarolina.org.
If your business would like to be featured in our new show, The East Daily Download, contact Joe Bullard at 252-355-8520 or jbullard@WNCT.com today and watch The East Daily Download weekdays at 7 on Eastern North Carolina's CW.
Watch your local WNCT 9 in Your Side news on our live stream on WNCT.com or on our mobile app.
What I want you to know about me is that I care about you. I want to empower people to change what's possible for them. You have this pattern of trashing yourself. We're going to break it today. If you change how you think, you will change your life. Welcome to the Mel Robbins Show.
Residents on Ocracoke Island are describing Hurricane Dorian as the worst destruction the community has ever seen. With more than 400 homes affected by the storm, locals are working together to rebuild their lives. An island known for attracting tourists with its beauty is now picking up the pieces from the storm that affected them just 3 weeks ago. Currently, the island is running without working restaurants and only one open convenience store. Although his home suffered minor damages, Benjamin Monroe is working to restore his mother's home, which was completely flooded by Dorian.
Well, she's been in this house 70-some years. I think I was 5 when they moved in here, her and my dad. And it's just, you know, you don't really want to move anywhere else, not at that age. I mean, she understands, but she hasn't seen none of this, and I don't want her to.
Along with the home's interior damage, Monroe was told by an electrician that because his mother's home is so old, it will also need to be completely rewired. While most of her photos were damaged by the water, Benjamin was able to save most of her kept documents and cards. If you would like to learn more about Benjamin's story and my interviews with other Ocracoke residents and shop owners, you can go to WNCT.com and click Online Originals in the Features section. In the studio, Madeline Ashley, 9 on Your Side.
With archery season just around the corner, I took a deeper look into the details of the sport and the equipment needed to shoot. This non-traditional sport has been popping up across the country more frequently. And with the start of this year's season targeted for September 7th, what better way to learn than to give this sport a shot? Archery, more commonly recognized with hunting, is also a competitive sport that can be played indoors and outdoors. Justin Wolf, Votech at the new sports shop in Kinston, has been shooting archery since he was 12 years old.
Everyone can do it, you know, just getting a bow that's set for you and being comfortable with it and just not getting frustrated, because it can be frustrating. Just stick with it and it'll all pay out.
In terms of equipment, as like most other sports, the more experienced you become, the more accessories you accumulate. But to start, beginners can choose from one of 2 types of basic bows. a recurve bow, which is traditionally shown in movies like The Hunger Games, or a compound bow.
Unless you're a real avid archer, you're just going to do the compound, because getting into the range to be able to shoot and actually put the projectile through the deer or the animal is going to be kind of a hard task.
Justin took the time to explain what else is needed.
Your sight, your arrow rest, your release aid, and some arrows.
Once you get the hang of things, you can begin to compete.
A lot of the tournaments are family orientated, so if you need to take the whole family with you, you could, and it'd be perfectly fine. It just makes for a long day sometimes at different tournaments.
Archery takes a lot of practice.
I try to shoot every day. Some customers come in and we're shooting late afternoon. They want to stay when I get off. We'll shoot a little bit. So it's a good bonding time for the customers and I.
I certainly need some help with my skills on archery and will definitely be coming back here to practice. In Kinston, Kelsey O'Donnell, 9 on your side.
Well, that'll do it for another edition of the East Daily Download. We do appreciate your time as always. And if you haven't figured out by now, it's National Poetry Day. We thought we'd spend a little time dedicated to the spoken word in all its various forms. And with that in mind, I'd like to remind everybody of a very special thing coming this Sunday to the CW. Superwoman season premiere, Batwoman series premiere. Just want to put that plug in there. Now, I'd like to read some closing notes and remarks. Too bad the show's over, ain't it a crime? We had some fun, but I hear the clock chime. In case you wonder why my prose is in rhyme, we're celebrating National Poetry Day on the East Daily Download for the very first time. Thank you all. Thanks to my wife also for helping out with all these wonderful words. And have a great day. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. See you, everybody. Friday when we hit the road on the next edition of the East Daily Download. Pick up your pencils. It's time for our next lesson in this week's installment of Let's Draw. We'll be live at Whirligig Stage for an interview and performance. We'll wrap up our look behind the scenes of First Alert Weather's coverage of Hurricane Dorian. And WNCT 9 on your side anchor Shayla Reeves will show us what she's making in Let's Craft. So join us Friday for an all-new The East Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.